Hello everyone, and welcome to this witchy tutorial. To be honest, the only reason I wanted to do something like this was because I wanted to try blocking my brows. I've already primed my face with the Cover FX mattifying primer, and now to begin blocking my brows, I take an Elmer's glue stick and go over my brows and then brush it through with a spoolie. The next step is to set it, and I use the NYX blotting powder, pressing this onto my brows. I would recommend doing a few more layers than I did. I then used any kind of orange eyeshadow to help block out the dark color of my brows. To help hide them even further, I used the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in the color Light. Then I set that once again with the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Powder in Ivory. I watched maybe 1 or 2 tutorials on this, and I honestly could have used a little bit more help because they didn't look too great. To cover the rest of my face, I'm using a mixture of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Nude Ivory and the Dermacol Pigment in 207. The Dermacol can be a little too cakey, so I thinned it out with the Photo Focus Foundation. You'll see here I even used it to help cover up my eyes and even put a layer on my eyebrows. I set my under eyes and the rest of my face with the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Powder in Light. You can see I'm pressing it into my eye socket as well. Then I just dust the rest of it away with a powder brush. Things were starting to look a bit funny here. To contour, I'm using the NYX HD Blush in Taupe. Usually this color is a little bit too cool tone for me, but I thought it would make me look a little bit more creepy in this tutorial. I skipped blush and instead went straight in with the NYX Strobe of Genius highlighter palette and used the nice lavender shade. Priming my eyeshadows with the Mineral Eyeshadow Primer from e.l.f. and setting that once again with the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Powder. I'm not quite sure why I decided to use a liquid lip for this. This is the ColourPop Liquid Lip in Friday. I think it's because I was just overexcited to have this matte lipstick in black because I love black lipstick. And originally I was going to put this on my lips, but decided to go against it with a different color. For future reference, I would definitely say that you should use a liner instead. Clean up any outside edges with some makeup remover. And then I'm also going to outline it with concealer to make it look even more sharp. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Light. Here I am outlining the crescent moon that I will be putting on my forehead as well, using the same liquid lipstick.
Look at my kitty, she's so cute!
The palette I'm going to be using mostly is the ColourPop Gemini by Night palette. The first shade is Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to be using that with a crease brush, mostly on the crease and in the inner sockets of my eye. I'm going to deepen up that color with the Manhattan Coffee Run shade. Using a pencil smudger brush, I'm just going to begin outlining where I want my liner to be. I'm kind of going for a look that has negative liner space, so I kind of outlined where liner would usually go and put no color there, if that makes any sense. To blend those two colors together, I'm using the Hidden Hills shade, which is a nice shimmery shade. For more color payoff, I used my finger, just like you would with a Super Shock shadow from ColourPop. The last color in this palette is the Moscow Sunrise shade. It is absolutely gorgeous. Using a fairly precise crease brush, I'm just going to be applying that even further into the edges of the look and then blending that out with the crease brush that I used in the first step. This is one of my favorite ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and it's in Central Perk. It's a gorgeous burgundy. And I'm just going to be, once again, going on the edges here, deepening up the contours. This is just a very dense shadow brush, and then I will go through and blend it out again. Then, using the concealer from Wet n Wild once again, I'm going to be cleaning up the area that I have negative liner space. And tapping that out with my finger. Of course, what would this tutorial be without white liquid liner? This is from NYX, and I would honestly say take your time with this step. I got a little too heavy-handed here, and you can see that I fucked up. Personally, looking back at this now, I should have gone over it again and done it a little differently, but I was just too impatient and frustrated with this. Then taking Central Perk on that same stiff shadow brush, just going to put that in on my lower lash line and down the nose, blending that out again. This is from the Balm Cosmetics. It is from the Meet Matrimony palette, and it's in the shade Matte Moskowitz. It's a nice purple plum shade, and I'm just going to be using that to outline the white liner. And also putting this on my lower lash line with that tiny pencil brush. Using the Stylist liner, I'm just going to be putting a line on my lash line to prep for false lashes. However, you can see here that I don't put it in the negative space. I'll put a tiny bit about halfway on my lower lash line as well. Using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Puppy Love, I'm going to be putting this in between the white liner and the black liner on my lower lash line as well as on my waterline. This is just a nice shimmery golden pink shade. For mascara, I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara, and I'm going to put that on both my upper and lower lashes before I put on the Ardell Glamour Lashes in the style 106. For lips, my camera got cut off, but I used the ColourPop Lippy Stick in Chateau. And this is the finished look. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I know about you, I wanna swing the
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
It's Nikki full throttle, it's all. Swimming in the grotto, we winning in the lotto, we dipping in the pot of blue flow. So, getting so high. Anybody come be good to you? You need a bag, got it for your mind. Okay. Can't blow if your work ain't selling. Rule number 3. You need a bag, got it for your mind.
Excuse me.
You're never gonna love me. You're too proud to say that you, and she'll set you free.